It's absolutely amazing to me how quick 3 years can go by. In my life, 3 years, it seems like it was yesterday that I was on my car driving down with Luciano to pick up the MT09, and the 3 years have just gone under the bridge. My MT09 has evolved over 3 years, and probably about two of them very intense modifications I was making to the bike. Polishing the exhaust, such a big job. The Graves tail tidy, I made a special video for that. And all of the things, that tail light attachment, the carbon fiber that Vlad got me. But the big one was all of the blue painting. Many parts of the bike that were flat black are now blue. I think it's a major upgrade. And the wheels, the biggest thing of all, the wheels, just unbelievable labor of love. And a million little small details, a lot of them handmade from carbon fiber, and it's always a work in progress. Now, we've updated all our cameras and editing things so you can watch this video in 4K, and all you have to do is adjust your device in YouTube. Now, this is a really nice hot day. I'm hoping we can get out on a little ride on the MT09. But it's kind of a little prelude to our anniversary. We've had the bike just under 3 years. And 15,000 miles, and I thought I'd share my feelings about it while we're looking at the ride. And first I have to take care of the fish, the birds, the giraffe, the garden, everything outside, pre-flight the bike, and then the rest of the day is mine. Now, people who follow the channel know when I first got the bike, within 3,500 miles, I had a flat tire. I picked up a nail, put on a new tire, and it was less than 1,000 miles later, I picked up another nail. So I have no idea where the nails were. It was my lucky day, but that basically is the only issue I've had with the bike. That and the check engine light came on. I had to buy the little gizmo to turn it off, and I made a video that I think a lot of people have found useful. So the MT09, other than the things that have nothing to do with the MT09, has been just a no-hitter. I made some carbon fiber parts that hold the windscreen on. I had, and over the course of it, took 2 full years to do it, to get the bike the way I felt I was happy with the way it looked. Thank you, Vlad, got me some of the carbon fiber parts, and these are really high quality, nice items. Thank you to John Pathia for coming up with the custom logos and things that we added to the bike. And one of the biggest ones was the blue paint. Dennis mixing up the exact match paint. This paint was not available from Colorite, and it was a perfect match. And every time I took one of the flat black parts, painted the bike more blue and less flat black, I liked it even more. And looking back 3 years, it's such a great adventure. It's all documented on our channel, along with all the modifications to the bike. Luciano had picked me up. The FZR had fuel pump failed after 35 years or whatever, and we had to get the bike towed back here, and KARYN insisted, because my birthday was just coming up, that I buy a new bike. We went down a motorcycle mall that same afternoon. I know when to take advantage of the situation. And Luciano, the MT09 and the 900 Kawasaki, the Cafe Racer, were parked side by side. And I liked them both, and I had like the playoffs they have in football, and in the end, based on how I felt on the MT09, it felt more like what I wanted, and the Cafe Racer was a little bit too lean forward for me. I thought, well, this will be a bike I can custom tune and make my own. And it did. It took me 2 years and a really lot of work. And then the final thing, painting the wheels, and that was just absolutely a labor of love that I did in the middle of a winter. And when I was done with that, and I looked at the bike and did a photo shoot, and we made some custom t-shirts and stuff, I was really thinking, wow, I have really gotten this bike exactly how I want it. But the biggest thing I want from this bike is I want to be able to ride it, and I want to get out on the open road before it gets too hot. Then you had better never forget to feed the fish before you go out on the open road, or they know you forgot to feed them. And we were just having a banny year in a pond, and it is looking like the sun's going to be out, and we're going to be cooking before this day is over, so I want to get out on the open road. And all that's left, one final cup of coffee and a final check of the weather, but I think it's going to be pretty good all day. I'm ready to go. And I think with the MT09, Yamaha got so many things right that, to me, make for a bike that's just fun to ride. And it's not a track bike, and it's not a, I don't know, cruiser or whatever. But I don't even know the right word. Fun is the right word. And this whole package, this whole bike that Yamaha has come up with for under $9,000. See, that's an amazing thing. But even if you pay a ton more, or you get a more sophisticated bike, a bike with more power or whatever, it doesn't mean it's going to be more fun to ride. What this is you're comfortable. You know you're getting 50 miles to the gallon, and you're not killing your neighbors with the exhaust note. And one of the cherries on the sundae here, the Valentine radar detector, I have had that many, many years. It has worked to perfection. I have never even been pulled over in the time I've had that, let alone gotten a ticket. So I think that's worth its weight in gold, and thank you, Jose, for talking me into it. And when I look from any angle I look at this bike, maybe even from the top or the bottom, I just think it has the look of an MT09 the factory might have made. Now we're coming to the final part of this test of the Michelin 5 tires on this bike. They were new when I painted the rims, and they're wearing like iron. I'm amazed how well they wear. And the traction control has worked so well for me all through the winter when the roads were salty and full of sand and everything. Thank you, Yamaha. Now, all the modifications I made to the bike, even all the work on that windscreen and all the bracketing, the carbon fiber bracketing, all of it, it's all out on the channel, and it spans 2 full years I worked on the bike to make it what I have today. 3 years ago when I got this bike, 15,000 miles ago, I had no idea what laid in store for me, but I couldn't be happier. So 15,000 miles in just under 3 years are now behind me instead of in front of me. But again, when I went down and picked up this bike, I looked at it, I said, yeah, I'm not happy the way it looked. I wasn't after the appearance of the bike. What I wanted was the motor. And I figured I'd take it over from there. But anyway, it exceeded my wildest dreams. I apologize to all my friends who get sick of hearing me say how much I like the bike. But I feel, by being honest, I really do like the bike, and it really has suited the needs that I have in a motorcycle at this point in my life. If I were still doing track days, I might have bought a different bike. If I was doing some other event, I'd buy a different bike. But because I already had an R1, I already had a super bike, I already have historic bikes, I already have a 2-stroke RD, the one thing I wanted was to have what I call a hooligan bike, a naked bike. And boy, has this ever filled that niche in my collection. And so when I go out to the garage in the morning, I can pick a high-tech bike. I can get a super bike that I can go flying off the back of the seat or go challenge Corvettes to a drag race or whatever. And I have the choice now of if I just want to have a fun day on a naked MT09. That to me, that's the ultimate choice. And thanks so much for watching.